Gotcha. So it's like a long story short, but back in the day, I wanted to be a veterinarian like every other little girl that loves animals. And that's what I thought I was going to be from like 5 years old until I turned 13. And then I went to go shadow a veterinarian, and she had to put puppies down that day. And that's when I realized I would have to do that every day, probably for the rest of my life. And I was like, that's not for me. And so then I was like, I'll be a teacher like my mom. And then, so I thought I was going to be a teacher like my mom. And then in 8th grade, they gave us this like standardized test, and I tested into pre-engineering. And all of my girlfriends that I went to school with tested into pre-medical. So I was really upset that I was no longer in a class with any of them. And then I thought engineers were train conductors. I thought they were the ones like shoveling the coal on the trains. And I was really upset over this, that I went home and cried to my parents. And I was like, I'm in this engineering class. I don't want to be a train driver. And my parents were like, you have no idea what you're talking about. You need to just stay in that class, just go for it, and then just roll with it. And I was like, all right, whatever, I'll do it. And I was really upset. And then we got into like AutoCAD, Autodesk, like the whole 9 yards. And I was actually really good at it. And I was like, oh, I really like this. And I was better than all the boys in the group. So I was like, oh, I'm better than them. This is cool. So I really liked it. And then in high school, we had this thing called Project Lead the Way. And it's in Kentucky. I don't know if it's in any other state, but I know it's in Kentucky. And they have pre-engineering classes where you can take a class on mechanical and civil and electrical. It never had any mining classes, so I didn't even know that existed. But I got into those classes, really liked them, really excelled in them. And then when I got to like my senior year of high school, I thought I wanted to do civil engineering, and I was going to go to University of Kentucky for it. And there's a scholarship, and I didn't end up getting it. And I was like, well, dang, how am I going to pay for college? And then my advisor in high school was actually roommates with the dean of mining engineering at Kentucky at the time. And he was like, send me your resume. I have a friend. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I sent it to him. And then I went to go tour the mining department at Kentucky. And this dean just pulled me aside and he was like, do you like fire? And I was like, yeah, I like fire. Do I look like that kind of person? He was like, you do. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, come with me. And there was an explosive and blasting class. And I know all mining students know about how exciting that class is. Like, I think that's what draws everyone in. And he was like, just come with me and come sit in this class. So I did. And I was like, you can major in this? Like, this is a legit thing? Like, this is a class? And he goes, yeah, you can get a doctorate in this. And I was like, sign me up. Sign me up. I want to be a doctor and exploding things. Like that's the only thing I want to do in my life now. And immediately changed my major, the whole 9 yards. And then that's what got me into it. And I've been stuck ever since, which it's not shocking. I think my family knew that was going to happen. My grandfathers were both in mining. They were in both in coal mining. And I think my mom's dad, that grandfather, he jumped for joy. He has like this old mining briefcase and he brought it to me. He was like, this is yours now. So it was just like one of those things that he just knew that I was going to be that one to go into mining like him. And I was like, okay, Papa, whatever. I don't know how many, like if you just go to any student that is currently in mining and ask them why they got into it, they probably will say there's an explosive and blasting class. That's literally half of my group did that, and then most of them work in explosives now. Like that is like their main job is explosives. And so yeah, it changes all the time. It's constantly changing, but that's like what I really, really like about it. And especially in mining, it's constantly different every single day you go underground. There's something different to look at. There's something new to learn. I've never not learned something every single day. I learned something new today. I had no idea that we did that. And I was like, oh, we've done that for how many years? They're like, yeah, every single day. How did you not know this? And I was like, I don't know where I've been, so sorry about that. So it was one of those things that like you learn on the way. And every day I wake up at 3:30 in the morning. That is something else with mining, is early mornings. They really love those. And I just get to work and I do the safety meetings for our foreman meetings. I go into with all the salary guys and we just, we talk about what everyone's got that day. I'll give them the safety numbers of like how many inspections we had, how many citations we got. I tell them, was there any personal reports of injury? Was there any reportable accidents? I just kind of talk about like, hey, this is what went on yesterday. Here's how we can make it better. Here's like a safety topic. I'll talk about, communication. That's number one in mining. And we talk about that all the time. I talk about, how to set a timber, how to do this, how to do that. Just kind of give something new every single day. And we try to always start it out with a safety share and just something that we all discuss and talk about. Most mining places will always do that. And then after that, I work within the dust department, and that's kind of where I coordinate. And I have about 5 guys that work with me every day on night shift and day shift, and we do the CPDM dust sampling that's required by the great CFR 30 that we all love. And so we go hand out those pumps to whatever we're sampling that day. We talk to the operators, be like, hey, wear this pump all day. I'll come check it mid shift. Let me know if anything crazy happens. And then after that, we'll go to a 6 o'clock meeting before everyone drops underground. And it's with Allery, salary, the whole 9 yards. All of the management team is in there. HR is in there. Payroll's in there. Like, it's every single person that works there. And we give another safety share, talk about exactly what we got that day. And then after that, everyone kind of goes underground. Then that's when I submit night shift pumps, and I kind of get with everyone, talk about like what I saw in the pumps, because people don't realize I can literally tell exactly what they did by the dust exposure that they were exposed to that day. And it's really funny to watch their faces be like, I did that. I'm like, I know you did that because this little spike right here shows me that you were probably next to a dust area. So I need you not to do that, or tell me how we can fix it. And so then me and my crew will go underground, and we'll go to a section or a long wall, whatever area that we're like, hey, let's go here and look at it today. We'll stop and talk to miners. We'll give safety talks to people. We'll kind of see what they're up to, and we'll do audits on places just to make sure we're in compliance. And then if MSHA shows up, then I'm one of those people that I'll travel with them. I'll take them wherever they want to go and do all that inspection stuff. And then after the end of the day, I send out all my reports to all the required people that I'm supposed to, and then just talk to my manager, talk to these people. It's a lot of just like communicating and being like, hey, this is what we got, this is what we do. And it's always like that. And usually send out the reports, get in the shower and get dressed and go home. My favorite thing is the atmosphere and the people that are in it. Like, I have met so many people just within mining, within college world, and just like the whole industry as a whole is like, you look at the people and it's just everyone's down to earth. And I know that's like super corny to say because it's mining, but everyone is truly down to earth. Like, I have met some of the best people ever. And, even in college, like, I go to conferences and I'll see people from Virginia Tech, Rolla, Virginia, and West Virginia. And then like, Colorado School of Mines, like, we all know each other. And it's just really, it's so tight knit that you're like, everyone knows everyone somehow, some way. And that's just, I love the atmosphere of that. That is one of my favorite things. And even like the people that I've met that literally have been coal mining since they were like 18 years old. Like, I have guys that work with us that are super, like, they're like in their late 70s, and they started working in a coal mine back when it was still legal to be like 15, 16 years old in a coal mine. And so like, they're just down to earth people. They care about you. They'll do whatever you need them to do. They'll help you out. Like, I just love that atmosphere. And I'm so thankful that I grew up that way. And I'm so thankful that now I'm still in that kind of atmosphere. Like, my grandfather still calls me every day after work and be like, so what happened today? How was work today? Did you guys run coal? How much footage did you get? Like, he asked like the whole 9 yards. Like, that's just was his life for so many years. And now he's like living through me. And it's just really fun to have that kind of atmosphere in mining. And that's just truly what's drawn me to the industry. And that's what's kept me here for sure. This is kind of in my safety world. I would wave the magic wand that no one ever got hurt. Straight up. Never got hurt, because I deal with that so much in the safety department. We hear every time anyone even nicks a finger, we hear about it, and we have to help them out. We have to file a report, all this stuff. And it's just like, if anyone could just never get hurt, the industry would be a breeze. It would be super easy, because we all know all of our laws were written in blood and everything like that. And mining is like, number one, it's safety. It's all safety, 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 and everyone talks about it. And that's something that I've become passionate about. I've always been passionate about it, but ever since actually stepping into a role after graduating and being in the safety department, I'm like, anytime I see someone doing something, I'm like, hey, no, I pull them aside. I'm like, listen, buddy, I know you think this is going to help you get something done faster or whatever you're thinking right now. And you may have done this for many, many years. Like there's some guys who've been doing it for like 50 years and you've done this every single day, but this could get you hurt. And I take that very seriously. And like I tell everyone at work, it's like, hey, I don't care if we ever mine another inch of coal, as long as everyone comes here in one piece and they leave in one piece. Then I have done my job and we have all done excellent, and it's been a good day. It's never a bad day if someone goes home safely. You know what I'm saying? So if I could wave a magic wand, no one ever gets hurt. There's never going to be another fatality. I would love for that to be the standard of everything. If I could do that, I would do that today. I would do that yesterday if I could do that.